Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. In this video I'm going to unbox this. This will be my unboxing and review of a Space Marine Whirlwind. This is a tank that I already have, but I wanted to just change the missiles on it, and for a chapter you have I think a few of these, 2 or 3 of these, possibly even more, but it means with 2 you can then have the little squadron where you have 2 whirlwinds and 1 land speeder, and as long as the land speeder can see a target, then the whirlwinds have infinite range. So that's a good little formation. I also got a new Horus Heresy novel in here, which is Master of Mankind. I've been building and painting quite a lot of custodians at the moment, and I just wanted a book to sort of read that goes into depth of it. And with these hardbacks, sometimes you'll get sort of pictures. Look, I don't want to spoil too much, but you'll get these pictures within it. So although they are £20, they're really well made. They've got a cover on. They're not limited edition by any means, but there you go, really nice artwork and cover. So there you go, that's a really nice little book. And then in here is the Whirlwind itself. So there you go, Space Marine Whirlwind. Right, that's one of these. I think I don't think you can get them with a discount anywhere. I think it is literally just, I think the £35, which is a lot of money. You know, and I think you can only get them from Games Workshop's website. So yeah, it's annoying because obviously you can get dreadnoughts and predators and land raiders and things and storm ravens from shops that give you a discount, but you can't for a Whirlwind. So it's the only sort of tank that I've seen that you can't. So this is it. So you've got the different missiles. Mine's actually got those missiles, but I'm gonna change it up and have the larger missiles for the for this model. So let's unbox. Alright, so the sprues, a lot of spaces, you can just tell. I mean, this kit is 2004, so a good sort of 13 years old now, this kit. Very old. So you've got this missile. I think with those missiles I just put them on bases and they became sort of objectives, and they're your different types of missiles, and that's your Whirlwind sprue, because the rest is basically a Rhino kit. You've got your top, you've got your sides, and your bottom of the armour, and then you've got this accessory sprue that has your Hunter Killer and your Storm Bolter, and all the rest of it. And then you've got one transfer sheet. There you go. And then you get the instruction booklet, which is the very, very old instruction booklet. I don't have a year on it anywhere that I can see, but it just goes to show you how to make a Rhino, and then shows you how to make a Rhino, and then it shows this little extra bit that shows you how to make the missile pods for the Whirlwind part of it. So there you go, that is the Space Marine Whirlwind. Join me in part 2 where you'll see the model completely built, and I'll carry on with the review and highlight some rules and formations and things. So join me in part 2. And welcome to part 2. As you can see, this is the Whirlwind, all built up. It's quite a easy kit to build. If you've ever built a Rhino or a Predator, it should be no problem whatsoever. So it uses a standard Rhino chassis. You've got this top piece. I mean, you could leave that loose or even magnetize it, and then you could just proxy it as a Rhino by putting the double hatch doors on. That's absolutely fine. And if you're the type of person that uses the same model for multiple purposes, then that's probably the best way to go. But if you're a collector and you just want a Whirlwind, then you can do it this way. I've equipped it with these missiles, which there's 2 different types. There's the smaller ones, and then there's these larger missiles. I've left the door sort of free to open and close, so you can sort of almost paint in there if you wish, but I like it from a narrative point of view. If I'm setting any models up and things, I like to have that sort of open as it's reloading, as they're reloading or doing whatever they need to do. So there you go. Nice looking model. It's quite old now though, and as I said at the start, it set you back £35, so it's still a lot of money. I don't even think you can get it at a discount anywhere. What I'll do is I'll just go through some of the rules. I'm using the new Space Marine Codex. I think it came out in 2015, this one. So if you've got a newer version and you're watching this in the future, then obviously use your most current book. There's the Whirlwind. It'll set you back 65 points. Quite cheap. It's in the heavy support section. Its ballistic skill is 4, its front and side armour is 11, and its rear is 10, and it's got 3 hull points. So not too bad, 3 hull points, but the armour is lacking a little bit. It's certainly less than a Predator, which is 13 at the front, or a Vindicator, which again is 13 at the front. So it's quite vulnerable, but with its missiles, definitely worth keeping it out of sight and well protected. I think it also works really well in the suppression force formation. So it consists of a unit of land speeders, so you can have one land speeder and a unit of whirlwinds, but the unit of whirlwinds you've got to have 2. And to do that, you get this special rule called the data link telemetry, where if the land speeder can nominate an enemy unit within 18 inches of the land speeder in the shooting phase, or shooting attacks from the whirlwinds, those 2 whirlwinds, can re-roll to hit and are treated as having infinite range. I mean, re-roll to hit is brilliant, but infinite range is just incredible. So on a massive board, you get your land speeder 18 inches within an enemy, and there you go. So I'll carry on back to the data sheet. So it includes this Whirlwind multiple missile launcher, which I'm talking about in a moment. It has a searchlight, smoke launchers, and this suppressive bombardment. When you've got 3 in the unit, then it has pinning and shred special rules, regardless of which missile type. So that's impressive to give it shred. Pinning's pretty good too. And so for 65 points base, there's no real need to equip it with anything else. I mean, you could give it a storm bolter like I have. I've only put the storm bolter on there for sort of decorative purposes, but you could give it that to give it a little bit more punch, sort of 24-inch range wise. The Whirlwind multiple missile launcher, it has 2 fire types. You've got the Vengeance or the Incendiary Castellan, and I always think the Vengeance missiles are the smaller ones and the Castellan are the larger ones, but I may be completely wrong. For both types, the range is between 12 inches and 48, or if you have 2 of them and a land speed, obviously you can have a range of infinite, possibly. The Vengeance missiles, strength 5 AP 4, ordnance 1 barrage large blast, but the Incendiary 1 less strength, strength 4, 1 less AP, so AP 5, same ordnance 1, so the 5-inch blast marker, but it ignores cover. So it's up to you. You can have a lower strength weapon that ignores cover, AP 5, or you can have a slightly higher strength weapon which doesn't ignore cover. So it really depends on sort of what armour you're going up against. I mean, if you're going up against armour says 4, then the Vengeance is the way to go. If you're going up against AP 5, then it really depends if they're in cover or not. One thing to note though is whenever a unit of them fires, so 1 to 3 of them, they must choose the same weapon each time they fire. So you can't have 2 of them with incendiaries and 1 with Vengeance or anything like that. So there you go. That's all the sort of rules about the weapon. Personally, I haven't really seen many on the battlefield. I can see them being very effective against Tyranids and Orcs and just armies that don't have a huge armour save. But then those armies against a fast-moving Orc army, it might not work as well. And likewise against a Tyranid army that's got a lot of psychic powers or regenerative abilities or deep striking abilities, again it might not be that effective. So it's quite a specialist unit, not as specialist as say like an anti-air vehicle or anything like that, like the Stalker or the Hunter, but 65 points, it's not much in the grand scheme of things to get something that's got the range of a las cannon and is a nice 5-inch blast marker. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.